What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got some more Entitled Parents stories for you, which you're gonna love. Medusa was my principal. So my high school reunion is coming up this year, and I already got my invitation to RSVP ahead of time in the mail. I didn't really enjoy high school, so I might not go. That is a story for another subreddit. This is the story about how an entitled woman became our principal and made everyone miserable. So my sophomore year, our old principal finally retired. He had been there for years. It's just time for him to retire. Now, we all thought the job would go to the assistant principal. He was qualified for the job, well liked by the students, and he had also been there for years. For this story, I'll call him Mr. Cool. Now, Mr. Cool was liked by everyone. He would loan students lunch money if they needed it, sign permission slips, give us a pass if we were running late for class for a reason like we couldn't get our locker open, or we got held up in another class, and would even perform magic tricks. We thought he would be the new principal. Nope. Somehow, an entitled woman snatched the job. I will call her Medusa. Medusa was just a horrible woman. We don't even know how she got the job. Rumor had it she used her husband's position as a member of the school board to get the job. It's possible this is true, but I'm not sure. My little town does do some shady stuff. Medusa immediately started enacting strict and harsh rules on us. Here are some I remember. The first, if you were late to lunch, you didn't eat. In her words, "You should have been here before the doors closed if you were hungry." 2, no more vending machines. We had a small area by the auditorium that had a couple soda machines and 3 snack machines. We were only allowed in the area during free time between lunch and our 4th hour class or after school. She had the machines removed, saying the reason was, "We don't need to be eating that junk food." Instead, she set up a table with things like bottled water and fresh fruit. No one really bought it since a bottle of water was $3.50, when at the machine it would have cost us only 75 cents. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong here. Firstly, she's saying that if you're a minute late to lunch you can't eat, and then she's taking away the other food option you have. What? Thirdly, drinks now had to be inspected by teachers. It was a very stupid rule. She claimed students had been sneaking in things such as vodka, pretending it was water. If you had a drink with you, first you showed it to your teacher. They all got tiny plastic cups to take a small sample and drink it to test it. You then got a small note to show other teachers the drink passed. The rule was ridiculous. Many of the teachers didn't do it. They knew we were good kids. The 4th new rule was that seniors could no longer wear their class/letterman jackets. This rule annoyed everyone. As a senior, if you had bought a class jacket or earned a letterman one from sports or clubs, you were allowed to wear it as part of your school uniform. She banned this. You got sent to the office if you were caught wearing it on school grounds. The jackets could even be confiscated. The list goes on. I could go on all day listing the crazy things this woman did. It was that bad. School became miserable. She even had cameras set up near bathrooms to catch kids smoking. Nobody smoked since all the bathrooms had smoke detectors. If you smoked, you went behind the music building like everyone else. Anyway, my senior year, Medusa went full on crazy. There were cameras everywhere now. New rules like no talking between classes and no backpacks. I couldn't wait to graduate. Now, while I was a sophomore, a girl in the freshman class was killed in a boating accident. My senior year, a group of students, including myself, got together to make shirts to remember her. They wanted to wear them to school, so of course we needed Medusa's permission. The shirts weren't crazy, mind you. They were black with the girl's picture on it, and they said something along the lines that she hadn't been forgotten. We only wanted to wear them for a day. One day. We go to Medusa's office, explain what we want to do, and ask if we can. She explodes on us. I'll cut her rant short. "This is not part of the school uniform. Anyone caught with one of these shirts will be suspended for 3 days. We just want to remember her. She would have been a junior this year. We'll tuck them in as part of the uniform, and they are black. Our uniform was black, white, or green t-shirts." I said no, do not bring them on school property. Honestly, the girl is dead. She is dead, buried, and you need to move on. Oh my goodness me, what a terrible person. What an amazing thing to say to friends of a kid who has died who used to go to your school. She's dead, move on. She's dead, buried, and you need to move on. What? Several students, including myself, left her office in tears over this. I'm not surprised. I even called my mum to pick me up because I couldn't stop crying. The next day, I found out that many students just walked out of their classes and left. They performed a walkout in protest. Medusa was furious. She gave some students like a month of detention for this. Furthermore, she doubled down on disrespecting students who passed suddenly, either due to illness or accidents. When a member of the senior class died due to cancer, she made an announcement saying, "Anyone caught leaving flowers, notes, or idling around students' locker will be sent to detention. This is a place of learning. You can mourn at home." Teachers were even told to send crying students to the office. They did not. I'm sorry, at this point, why is this person still in a job? Everyone knows that she's absolutely insane. I mean, the teachers clearly aren't even enforcing any of her rules. What's the point in her being there? They've got to kick her out. Other members of staff try to reason with her, including Mr. Cool. She threatens to have him fired. Anyone who tried to stand to this power-crazy woman was threatened with losing their jobs or being written up. Not even her own son was safe. She kicked her son out of the house when she learned he was dating a black girl. What? I wish I was making this up. His father divorced her. Her son was 16 and she kicked him out of her house because he refused to break up with the girl. Jesus, this woman gets worse and worse by the sentence. Finally, by some grace of every god known to man, it is time for graduation. Now, at my school, seniors got out of school 2 weeks early to handle our affairs. In those 2 weeks, we cleaned out our lockers, turned in books, got yearbooks, and there was a small ceremony for those who got scholarships. We also had to practice for the actual graduation ceremony. This meant spending hours in the hot Louisiana sun while we marched up and down the football field. Everything had to be perfect for Medusa. Oh, and we had already been warned not to throw our hats. Anyone caught throwing their caps after the ceremony will not be given their high school diploma, and I'll be calling your parents. Medusa was at every practice. One of the students was heavily pregnant and asked to sit down once to rest. Not my fault you got knocked up. If you don't practice, you will not be walking come the ceremony. I better not see you sitting or slowing down everyone else. How our blood boiled at this. Oh no, hold on, it gets even worse. You've read this much, so let me put the cherry on top of her entitlement cake. Our class valedictorian had cerebral palsy. Now, he had the highest GPA in the whole school, a perfect GPA. Smart as a whip and super nice, sweet, and everyone loved him. Every girl said he was their boyfriend. The valedictorian always gives the speech and helps hand out the fake paper diplomas for the ceremony. Now, he was in a wheelchair as he could no longer walk on his own and had an assistant to help him get back and forth from classes. Medusa told everyone that he would not be allowed to give his speech or allowed on the stage. Why? He is handicapped and doesn't speak very loudly. No one in the crowd will be able to understand what he says because of his disorder. Someone else will have to read the speech and assist in handing out diplomas. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, including members of staff and my senior class, refused to read the speech or take his place. He had earned being valedictorian. We told our parents, who went to the school board. I wish I could say Medusa was fired, but she wasn't. Instead, she was just forced to allow him onto the stage to hand out the diplomas, but she didn't let him give his speech. Instead, she read it, which was heartbreaking for him. I was so happy to get away from that woman. As a last form of protest, when everyone had gotten their diplomas, we all threw our caps everywhere. We still got our diplomas. Today, Medusa is no longer at the school. The story I heard was that she was fired after she humiliated a group of students in a school assembly for being obese. Parents got lawyers involved and the school board didn't want a lawsuit. Mr. Cool is acting principal. Sorry this is such a long story, but this woman was one of the reasons I didn't enjoy school. She was a miserable, entitled woman who in turn forced everyone else to be miserable just like her. A monster of a Karen, drunk on the power of being able to control the lives of high school students. How messed up can you be? You know what? I think this woman isn't entitled. She's a freaking psychopath. Who bans memorials for students who had cancer and died, and who doesn't allow a disabled person to do a speech? Like, what? And also, no backpacks? Like, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to carry around all of your books with you? No Letterman jackets? Why buy them if you can't wear them? I don't know, even the small rules that this woman put in place sound terrible to me. Like, I've had my fair share of bad teachers and even bad head teachers or principals in the past, but none have come even close to this person. I'm just glad that in the end, Mr. Cool has the job, at least as acting principal, but I just can't fathom the number of lives that she may have ruined during students' time at school. Now I think we have time for one more quick story. Lady with kids lost her trash at Harley Quinn movie. So I was seeing the new Harley movie. When I walked in, I noticed quite a few kids. This movie is a hard R. The first violent scene happened and the kids screamed. Then the mum started screaming. I thought this was a comic book movie. She left, and a few minutes later, she came back in with one of the movie theater staff, loudly saying that this movie was inappropriate. The staff member quieted her down and escorted her and her kids out while she beeped about how this movie wasn't good for her children. No freaking poop, lady. Look at the rating first. Yeah, I mean, see, a normal person in this situation would probably just admit their mistake and say, oh god, this is not what I thought it was. Come on, kids, let's go. But an entitled parent would try and ruin it for everyone else. Well done to this person. Or maybe she did look at the rating but then just refused it was going to be violent because superheroes are meant to be for kids, even though that's not true and it never really has been. Anyway guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/Entitled Parents. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like on this video, comment your opinions on these two stories and on Medusa down below, and subscribe for daily Reddit content. If you want more crazy stories right away, the playlist is on screen right now for you to watch all of my Entitled Parents videos. We now have almost 200 on the channel, so that's a lot to get through. If not, I will see you guys same time, same place tomorrow for a brand new upload.